Okay, so this is the last video I'm going to make for Chapter 7. Remember, your test is on March 7th, Friday. Those are only hour classes, so you'll have to be pretty good at it to be able to get it done. What we're talking about here is the distance formula. And you're kind of looking at it as if it's an alternative to doing the problem. Because what we could do is we could solve it using the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so what we're going to look at is how would we do that, right? And then we'll talk about the shortcut. So what we want to do is we want to find the distance from this red dot to this blue dot, this red dot as well. And what we could do is we could make a triangle out of this. We could form one of the legs like this, and then we could form the other one like this. Okay, so we're making a triangle out of it, and in order to do that, we have to know the numbers. So this number right here should be -2, 3. That's where these red line and the green line meet. Okay, so now we need to find the distance of the red line. We need to find the distance of the green line. So the distance of the red line, if we were to bring it down here, it goes from this point, +2, to -2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a distance of 4. Right? If we think about this green line, we're starting up here at +3, and we're going down here to +1. So we go 1, 2. So this is a distance of 2. Okay? The Pythagorean theorem tells us to take the green squared plus the red squared, and that's going to be equal to the long side squared. Okay. So we get 4 plus 16 equals c squared. So that means 20 is equal to c squared. So c is equal to the square root of 20. Okay, so now we know that the blue line is the square root of 20. Remember, we're not needing to find that out. We would need a little evil demon box to do it. But we know it's bigger than 4 and less than 5. So it's in between those two. Okay. Now, there is a shortcut to doing this. And this is called the distance formula. And what it says is this: d is equal to the square root of the x's subtracted squared plus the y values subtracted squared. Okay, so we're still working with squares and square roots. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up by taking the two x values of, let's change it to a purple dot. Okay, so we're going to change this to a purple dot, and we're going to change this to a purple dot. So we're ignoring everything else. So we're going to do the purple dots subtracted. Okay, so I'm going to set this up. I'm going to take the x values. This is one of the x values, so I'm going to put a 2 minus, and this is the other x value, so I'm going to put a -2. Notice I didn't get rid of the minus sign. It stayed there. Okay, squared. And now I'm going to take the y values and subtract them. So the first y value is the 3, the second y value is the 1, and then I square that. Okay. All right, so remember, the x values are the first number in the ordered pair, and the y values are the second number in the ordered pair. Okay, so 3 minus 1. Okay. All right, now let's look at this. Look what happens. 2 minus a -2 is 2 plus 2. Well, that's 4 squared. We have 3 minus 1, which is 2. That's 2 squared. Wait a second, where did I see the 4 and the 2 before? Oh, they're right there. 4 and 2. This was the length of the green line, and this was the length of the red line. Well, that's kind of weird. Okay, that's cool. So D is equal to 16 plus 4. I saw that somewhere too. Oh, that's what it is when we square the green and the red. So our answer is still D equals the square root of 20. So there's two ways to do the same question. Okay, the first way is to take the 2 points and turn them into a triangle. Find the distance there, find the distance here, and then use the Pythagorean theorem to figure out the third. Or we could just plug it into a formula. So I don't know which one you like. You're getting a little bit of practice with this on the 7.3 worksheet, but I will be sure to give you a few more whenever you come into class. Okay? In fact, I'm going to add a slide here, and I'm going to give you 2 ordered pairs. Okay? 3, 4, and let's do 6, 7. Okay? Let's not worry about graphing the 2 points. Let's plug it into the formula. D is equal to the square root of, now we're going to take the x values, let's put them in green. That's 1, that's the other one. So we're going to do 7 minus 4 squared. We add them together. We'll do the y values in blue. 6 minus 3 squared. Okay. So now I have D is equal to the square root of 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 squared. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 squared. So that's D is equal to the square root of 9 plus 9. So D is equal to the square root of 18. That's how far it is between those 2 points. Now we could change it into a decimal. We could write it out that way. But we don't really have to. Not yet. Because we're not worried about little evil demon boxes. We're worried about just getting the stuff right. Okay? So remember the formula, D is equal to, and you're going to see it in the book in a pretty fancy way, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. These are called subscripts. This one is telling us the second x value, second x, minus the first x. And this one's saying the second y minus the first y. Okay? So this would be the second y, and this would be the second x. This would be the first y, and this would be the first x. Now you know it's first because it's first. It's first. This one's second. Got it? We could switch them around. It don't matter. Okay? More practice is necessary. You'll get it in class. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the quiz at the end. Next class period. See ya.